Hey guys, welcome to my channel Miss Recap. The show begins with thousands of soldiers matching and clanking their armor. When they arrived at the Gaulish village, the general orders his army to be in formation. Inside the village, the people line up in a queue for Asterix, a sorcerer, to give them a magic potion which can enhance their strength. This magic potion is the reason why this village hasn't been conquered no matter how small it is. Everyone in the village is given a magic potion apart from Obelix, because he fell inside it when he was a little boy. The villagers attacks the army with an astonishing strength. Even a kid can take down dozens of soldiers on his own, all thanks to the magic portion that Asterix gave them. We are taken to a flashback, where we are introduced to two best friends Asterix and Obelix. They were both born on the same day, so they gifted themselves with a very special birthday present. We suddenly hear a narrative telling us how life was very peaceful in the Gaulish village. Everyone lived in harmony, and the village at that time was ruled by Chief Asterix, whom everyone loves and respects so much. An explosion sound from Asterix's chambers gets their attention. Chief Asterix enters to check if Asterix is okay. Asterix has been trying to make a magic potion, but he's still missing a recipe to complete the portion. Asterix is worried about the rise of Julius Caesar, whom once in power might choose to invade their village and they won't stand a chance against his army, but Chief Asterix doesn't seem to be bothered about it. They go to a class where the children are meant to give a presentation to them. Obelix tells Asterix that he is scared. He's not sure he knows their mushroom presentation very well, but Asterix assures that they will do well, and suggests that they should have a rehearsal. After all the children are done with their presentation, Asterix and Obelix are the last to give theirs. Just as Asterix starts with a very nice presentation about mushrooms, Obelix's presentation partner couldn't say a word to support because of his stage fright. Obelix's heart starts to beat really fast, and this makes him to fall down unconscious, but Asterix improvises that this is what happens when one eats the poisonous mushrooms, and they all clap. He wakes Obelix up, who asked how the presentation went. Asterix replies that it went well, but he had to talk for them both, because that's what friends are for. The next morning, a neighborhood chief meets with Chief Asterix to hand over his son called Cassius. They want Chief Asterix to take care of their son as they are going for a few days' trip. Cassius suddenly starts to bully Asterix and Obelix. They try to fight back, but their strength is not even up to 2% of Cassius' strength, and he can't even feel their punches because it's as light as a feather. Cassius decided to play a little game with them. He asked them to run, and if he catches them, they will get hit. Asterix and Obelix while running sees Asterix's chambers, but Obelix is really scared of going in. Cassius mocked them for being scared, but Asterix boldly tells him that he is not afraid. In fact, he is not just going to go inside the chambers, but he also going to take the golden sickle. It's a special sickle that gives mistletoe magic powers. Cassius tells them to bring him the golden sickle and he will leave them alone, but if they come back empty-handed, they can kiss their milk teeth goodbye. At nightfall, Asterix and Obelix sneaks inside Asterix's chambers. While Asterix searches for the golden sickle, Obelix sees the boiling magic portion Asterix is making, but thinks it's food. He gives it a taste, but it wasn't that good, so he decided to add a prawn, fish and strawberry inside. He gives it another taste, and it was yummy. While for Asterix, he finds the golden sickle. Unfortunately, Asterix enters his chamber to collect something, leaving Asterix and Obelix no choice but to hide. Before Asterix left, Obelix loses his grasp and falls inside the magic portion. This caused a very insane explosion. Obelix is being treated, while his worried mother watches day and night. Asterix asks Asterix why he wanted his golden sickle, but Asterix lies to him. Obelix wakes up to everyone's relief, stating out that he is hungry. The whole villagers handed him all their food, but Obelix wasn't still filled up, he still keeps wanting more. Later that afternoon, Asterix throws a snowball to play with his best friend Obelix. When Obelix retaliates by throwing his own, Asterix dodged it, but it went through about 5 houses and destroyed it. Obelix realizes he has grown stronger, and he tests his strength by lifting one heavy object to the other. Cassius shows up to bully them again. Obelix accidentally moves his hand, and this sends Cassius flying to the sky. Asterix witnessed Obelix's superhuman strength, and calls the best friends to his chambers. He asked Obelix if he added anything to his portion, and Obelix replies he added a huge prawn and strawberry. Obelix points it, but Asterix replies that what he added isn't a prawn but a lobster. When Asterix puts everything Obelix mentioned inside another magic portion he made, he realized that strawberry and lobster has been the missing recipe he has been trying to figure out for years. He takes the portion and it gives him supernatural strength. Asterix tells Chief Asterix that they should keep the portion a secret for now, so he will have some time to study the prodigy, but Chief Asterix feels Asterix is just being overly cautious. They should be wise enough to use it intelligently and reasonably. Everyone in the village started misusing the magic portion. It helped to make their work easier and faster, But they also started to use it to do stupid things, and the portion is only effective for like an hour, apart from Obelix, who will forever have superhuman strength because he fell inside the portion. The misusing of the magic portion annoys Gatafix so much, and he pours the rest on the floor. He leaves saying they will only use the magic portion for self-defense, that's if the village is in danger. After a few days, an army shows up to attack their village, and this prompted Gatafix to make another magic portion and gives it to all the villagers in a queue. They defeated the big army, while the ones who survived retreated immediately. The scene takes us to Rome, where Julius Caesar celebrates his triumph over all the villages, but his mood changes when he finds out that there is still one particular small village that refused to be conquered by them. General Fast and Furious tells Caesar it's because of their magic portion which gives them superhuman strength. Caesar is angry. He wants the village Gaul to grovel before him. He doesn't want to leave out a single village that doesn't summit to the Rome's power. A librarian called Metadata, a niece to the general, tells Caesar that there might be a way to take over Gaul, which is by using Gallic law. When a Gallic chief wants to take control of another village, he challenges the other chief to a fight. The chief still standing at the end will become the chief of both clans. She suggests to Caesar that if they should find a champion to beat the current Gaul chief, he will be the new chief, which will be under the rule of the Roman Empire. Caesar tells Metadata to be in charge of organizing the big fight, while the general should give her a hand with logistics. Meanwhile, the village of Gaul throws a feast for the Romans not attacking them since 30 days, all thanks to the magic portion. General Fast and Furious and Metadata begin their plans to prepare for the big fight. To General Fast and Furious, finding a champion to fight the Gaul chief is not the problem. The problem is the magic portion the Gaul has that gives the super strength. They decided to kidnap Gatafix, so the Gauls won't be able to make magic portion again. The current Gaul chief, Chief Vital Statistics, is very sick because of he overfed himself at the feast last night, so Gatafix treats him. General Fast and Furious sends 4 soldiers inside the Gaul village to kidnap Gatafix. Just when Gatafix goes outside the village to gather ingredients to make another magic portion, the Roman guards captures him. Asterix and Obelix, who also appears to be outside the village, sees the Roman guards trying to capture Gatafix. The guard sees them and tries to run with Gatafix, but Obelix uses his superhuman strength and throws a large stone. Unfortunately, the stone hits the wrong person, Gatafix, while the Roman guards run for their lives. Asterix and Obelix argue as Asterix calls Obelix clumsy. They checked Gatafix and are scared that he might not make it. The Roman guards reports to General Fast and Furious that Gatafix is dead. Now the person that makes the portions for the Gauls is no more. Now all they need is a village chief that will challenge the Gaul chief. POTUS, a lieutenant, tells General Fast and Furious that he knows of one chief who is very loyal to the Roman Empire. The chief name is Cassius, that person who used to bully Asterix and Obelix when they were kids. Chief Cassius is so obsessed with the Roman Empire that he made his whole village to look like one. General Fast and Furious and Metadata pays a visit to Chief Cassius, and tells him how they want him to fight the Gaul chief as their champion, and take over his clan when he claims victory. Cassius is scared at first when he finds out it's Chief Vital Statistics he will be fighting, because it's his village that uses the magic portion, but General Fast and Furious assures him that there are no more magic portions, because Gatafix is dead. The body of Gatafix is brought back to the village by Asterix and Obelix, but to their relief, Gatafix is very much alright. Unfortunately, Gatafix has lost all his memories, and the Gauls panic because it means Gatafix won't be able to make magic portions for them anymore. Just immediately, Chief Cassius shows up at their village and challenges Chief Vital Statistics to the big fight, but when he sees Gatafix is still alive, he runs away. Even though Gatafix has lost his memories, they still try make him remember how to make the magic portion, but it's to no avail. Cassius tells POTUS, a lieutenant, that Gatafix is still alive, so he decided to spy at the Gaul village to see for himself. He reports back to General Fast and Furious that Gatafix is alive, but the good news is that he has lost his memories. Back at the Gaul village, Chief Vital Statistics sends Asterix and Obelix to see Apotheca, a doctor for head injuries. Maybe she can help Gatafix recover his memories. Metadata trains Chief Cassius by having him lift heavy object to prepare him for his fight with Chief Vital Statistics, who is also intensely trained by his father, but he kind of lazy and weak and he doesn't know how to fight. After a long journey, Asterix and Obelix finally locates the cave where Apotheca stays. They tell her about Gatafix's situation, and how they need her help. Meanwhile, Caesar arrives at the battle camp as he wants to witness the fall of the Gaul village, and Metadata introduce their champion to him, Cassius. On the other hand, Asterix and Obelix brings Apotheca to their village so she can heal Gatafix from his memory loss, but mistakenly, Obelix pushed a rock on her and she as well lost her memories. Now their hopes on making the magic portion is gone. and the villagers knows that Chief Vital Statistics does not stand a chance against Chief Cassius because he is weak without the portion. One villager suggests they should change their chief. To win the big fight, they will need the strongest amongst them all, which is Obelix. But this creates a big argument as almost everyone wants to be chief. But Chief Vital Statistics tells everyone that he will hand over his power to Obelix. Obelix doesn't want to be chief because of the mistakes he has made so far. After a long talk, Obelix finally agreed to be chief, and he immediately heads to the arena where the big fight will take place. All the Roman citizens are gathered, and when Caesar shows up, all the Romans praise and worship him like a god. Other notable people like Cleopatra also shows up to watch the fight. After a while, the Gaul villagers also arrive too. Asterix and Obelix get into another argument because Asterix admitted that Obelix does not have the brains to rule the village for a long time, he only has the strength. Out of anger, Obelix gives out his first decision as chief, by banishing Asterix. At nightfall, the big fight finally begins. A Gaul commentator calls out Cassius, who shows up at the ring to flex his muscles, confident that he is going to win. But when he realizes that his challenger will not be Chief Vital Statistics but Obelix, he suddenly begins to panic, because Obelix is the only one that has the magic portion in him taking effect forever. The commentators tells the both fighters that the combat must not end until one of them is defeated or withdraws. Asterix knows that Obelix will fall unconscious because of his stage fright, so he returns to help his friend. But it is too late as Obelix falls unconscious from the stage fright, and Cassius is declared winner of the fight. Now the Gaul village will have no choice but to follow the law of a chief lose a fight, they will have to surrender to Caesar. Gatafix gets involved in another accident, and to Asterix's excitement, Gatafix has now regained all his memories. Asterix appears before Caesar and tells him there is still one Gaul he hasn't conquered, which is him. He claims that Obelix is never his chief because he was banished by him before the fight, so that means he doesn't have to surrender. He is the last indomitable. The crowd started to boo because they want a fight between Caesar and Asterix. Caesar decided to give them a show, but instead of fighting Asterix, he orders his men to destroy the Gaul village with fire. Metadata is so disappointed with what Caesar was doing, believing it's wrong. Just as Asterix is being chased by General Fast and Furious, Gatafix gets surrounded by the Roman guards, but he is saved by Metadata, who tells him that she's now on their side. Chief Vital Statistics gives a motivational speech to all the Gaul villagers, and they all begin to fight the Roman guards. But the guards are way too many. Just when they got outnumbered, Obelix shows up and fights them all with his superhuman strength. Gatafix is finally able to make another magic portion, and when the Gaul villagers sees this, they decided to run back to the village to have one. They enter a wheel with Obelix using his superhuman strength to push them to the village. Unfortunately, when they arrived at the village, they see Gatafix already has a sword to his throat. General Fast and Furious takes Gatafix as hostage, and also took his pot of magic portion. He decided to give the magic portion to his lieutenant POTUS to try. He then sends him to go fight Obelix, the strongest amongst them all, and the magic portion seemed to have worked on him as he sends Obelix flying with a light punch. Obelix gets angry and returns the punch. General Fast and Furious then orders his army to take the portion, while Obelix engage in a fight with POTUS. The Roman guards join POTUS in the fight, and they knock Obelix out cold. The Roman army charges towards the Gaul villagers, who didn't seem to be scared, even though they didn't drink the magic portion, and they're really small in number. But suddenly the Roman guards started to float. Gatafix reveals he added the wrong recipe. That's what causes the Romans to float and change colors. Just like that, the Gaul wins the war against the Romans. The Gaul village celebrates their victory over the Romans. The movie ends here. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe and turn on notification so you can watch more videos like this.